does anyone remember what we did yesterday? What was the objective yesterday?
To solve for
To solve what?
for x.
What kind of equations did we have? What are they called? Are they quadratic equations? They're exponential equations. Good. So yesterday we focused on solving exponential equations. What did we do to solve an exponential equation? What was our plan of attack? What did we do? How did we go about solving an exponential equation?
Rewriting it in log form.
We rewrote these in log form. So Cassidy, how do I rewrite 5, this says 5 to the 2x power equals 20. How do I rewrite this, translate it?
Log 20 with the base of 5 equals 2x.
Yep. Okay, then can you tell me what to do?
And then you're gonna type in your calculator the log of 20 with the base of 5.
Yep. We're gonna hit log, base 5, 20, and what are you gonna get?
1.8.
1.86, blah, blah, blah. What do I do with that answer? Divided by 2. And there's your answer, 0.930677. Now, there are actually a lot more decimals after that. At some point, we have to round. So in the directions, it says, round each answer to the nearest hundredth. So we're all consistent here. What is the 100th spot? This is the 10th. This is the 100th. So what are you going to do? You're going to look at the 0 here, and it's going to tell you to leave that 3 alone. So what's everyone going to write for an answer?
0.93.
0.93. Beautiful. Number 8. This is review. How do you rewrite this in log form?
Log of 3, base of 8, and plus 1.
Beautiful. So what do you do?
Type it in.
Type it in. Get your answer, and then what do I do with that answer?
2 minus 1.
I'm going to subtract 1. Okay, let's work on rounding our answer to the nearest hundredth. What would you write?
-4.47.
Negative 0.47. Okay, number 9.
Log of 3,
Log of 3
base
base.
4. Minus
Beautiful. So control log, it's base 4 and 3. Hit enter. What do you do with that answer?
2. Plus 2.
Add 2. And what answer are you going to write?
2.7.
2.79. Next.
Add 5.
Thank you. D'Angelo, say it again.
Okay.
Who said it?
Add 5.
Christian. And 5. Good job. So 4 to the x power is equal to 17. Now you're going to write log of 17 base 4 and type that in your calculator. And what answer are you going to write?
2.04.
Beautiful. So let's review what we just mastered. You guys did awesome on this. What our objective was to solve exponential equations. What did we do? We wrote them in log form based on our prior knowledge of being able to translate it. And we used the change of base formula in a calculator and solve. what do you think is up next? Solving what kind of problems?
Quadratic,
No, not quadratic, we solved exponential, now we're gonna solve,
linear.
we're gonna solve log equations.
I was gonna say, because we just circled those things.
We could do quadratic. That was good. Okay, so, if solving exponential, we translated it to log, how do you think we're gonna go about solving logs?
The opposite way.
Yep. So what are you gonna translate these to? These are all log problems. We're gonna translate them to what?
Exponential.
Exponential. So what do we need? We need a base, we need an exponent, and we need an answer. Now, 32 could fool you. Do you know what the base is?
10.
10.
Good job.
10.
Good that.
Good job,
You
Jack.
guys got it. 10.
Why 10?
Why 10?
Because if
When there's no base, it's always 10.
Yeah, if there's no base, it's kind of like 1x. So, if there is no base, everybody, what's the base? It's a 10. It's not a mistake. It's not a mistake. It's a 10. So, how are you going to translate this into exponential? What's the base? You start with the base.
10.
10.
Square equals X.
You got it. What is 10 squared?
100.
100.
0 to
I like the other way better.
You like the other way better?
Yeah, is there an option?
Okay, number 33. What's the base?
10.
10.
What's the exponent?
-1.
What does it look like when it has a base?
What does it look like when it has a base?
Yeah.
Like these.
Oh, okay, yeah.
All right, what is 10 to the negative 1 power?
1 over 10.
It's 1 over 10.
Divide by 4.
Now, if this is a fraction, instead of dividing by 4, I would multiply by 1/4. Does anyone think to do that? You could divide by 4, which is multiplying by 1/4. The answer is 1 over 40. Now, some of you may have chosen to put that in your calculator, and you would have gotten point, what? 0.1. And then you divide that by 4. You're gonna get 1 over 40. Same thing. Okay, 34. Alex, what's the base?
10 squared.
10 is the base, 2 is the exponent, and 3x. Do you know what 10 squared is? Yeah, it's a 1 with 2 zeros. And then what do you do with that?
100 divided by 3.
100 divided by 3. Now, obviously, a 3 doesn't go into 100 evenly, so you could just leave that as a fraction. Or some of you might want to convert it to a decimal. I'm fine with either way.
It's not.
35. Everybody, what's the base?
What is it?
10. What's the power?
Squared.
And what's the answer?
25.
Okay, do we know what 10 squared is?
Yes.
It's 100.
100 divided by
And divide this by 4. What's my
25.
answer?
We're fine.
Now, did anyone pick up a calculator to do this problem?
You don't need to.
You could.
Very good. There's a time and a place for a calculator. Do not use a calculator if you don't have to. Use your brain. You want to work your brain out, not your fingers. A calculator is used at certain times. So this one's more, we're going to step up a little bit.
4
I think
four.
I know how to do
Would you
it.
divide by 4?
I think I know how to do it.
4 to the 4.
You could,
No,
but I
no,
want,
it's
you
to the
could,
base.
you could,
Just to.
you could.
And still 4.
Let's do what D'Angelo said. We're gonna divide by 4. What's the base here?
10,
10 to the first power is
X.
x.
10 equals X.
So x is 10. Now, there's another way you
What?
could have done this one.
Don't be an A fraud. What? How'd I get 256?
Now, someone- Wait, what's that?
Never mind.
Did you get it?
No.
No?
No, just do it the way you're about to do it.
Well, this is actually just as easy. Divide by 4. Because this is read 4 times the log of x.
See, I took
So
the
if-
fourth root of it.
Okay,
I did
yes,
four-
now,
why did I do
that's
four?
the other way I was gonna show you. I'm gonna cover up my work. This is what it says. Does anyone know what this is right here?
Just the exponent.
It's the exponent, so what's nice is you're remembering the rules. The property, this 4 is the power of this. Now, rewrite it. The answer will pop up at you.
10 to the fourth power.
10 to the 4th power is equal to x to the 4th power. So your objective is to find what x would be so the two sides would be equal. So what would,
I feel like
what
you'll
do you
take
have to have here for these two to be identical?
You can take the 4th root, or,
No, you're thinking too much. See, these two are the same. These two are the same, 1 to 1.
Oh, just 10.
X is 10. So that's the other way you could have done that one. Let's do 37 the way D'Angelo suggested. Can I get rid of this 8?
Yes.
What do I do?
Divide by 8,
Mm-hmm.
log 10 equals 8. Or no, equals, yeah.
2.
Okay, now rewrite it.
10 squared equals.
What's 10 squared? What's my answer? 100. Now, you know you could check your answer. If you were to put 100 right here and do 8 times log of 100, you're gonna get 16. Next one. How do I get rid of this 2?
Divide by 2. What's this rewritten? 10 to the first power equals X, so X equals
X equals 10.
I don't mess with this, man.
How many people think they understand this? Got the habit? Okay, we're gonna keep going. Practice makes perfect. 39. Now we're gonna go one step deeper into this stuff. What's the base?
10.
What's the exponent?
30.
And what's, that is gonna go on this side. A little bit more challenging, but we can handle this. Our deal is we're solving for x. What is 10 times 10 times 10?
1,000.
It's 1,000. Does anyone know the trick to that, these tens? It's a
Yeah,
1 with
zeros.
that number of zeros. Did you know that?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, what do you do now?
Subtract 5.
Subtract 5 from where?
Each side.
And then what?
Divide by 2.
And then divide by 2. Now, 2 does not go into 995 evenly, so you're gonna get, I believe, 497.5.
Could I just left it, leave it at
Yes.
995 over 2?
Yes, you can. You can. Now, if you were answering, D'Angelo, a multiple choice question,
And it didn't pop
and
up.
995 over 2 was not one of your solutions, you would wanna obviously find the decimal equivalent.
Alright.
So, but for me, I'm happy with 995 over 2. Okay, last one in the set. What's the base, everybody?
10.
10. What's the power?
What?
This is the power. And equals what?
Answer is 334.
That's 1,000,
Add 2 on each side, you get 1,002.
1,002.
Then you divide by 3, and then you get 334 equals
Is what is it equal to? 334, yep. It goes into it evenly. That's your x value. Okay, flip this over. Okay, can you read the instructions? Use the properties of logs to evaluate each expression. Do you guys remember the properties?
Nope.
There was a product one, a quotient, and a power. Look at this carefully. I'm gonna jog your memory. How are you going to condense this?
Oh,
Log
8
4.
over 4 with the base 2.
No,
Say it again.
Logs, 8 over 4.
8 over 4, yep. Now, Felicity, why did you divide?
Because when you want,
Yep. Awesome. Now, see if you can do one more thing. 8 over 4, does that look familiar?
yes.
What is that?
Yeah.
2. 8 over 4 is 2. Can we do anything else to this? Does anyone know what log of 2 base 2 is?
1.
1. So guess what we did? We used the property of logs and we evaluated this whole thing equals 1. Number 45, who would like to try this one?
Log of,
Log of 160 over 5 base 2.
yeah, sure.
Look at you guys. Does anyone know what 160 divided by 5 is?
Log
32.
It is
32 base
32.
Nice.
Does anyone know what 2 to what power is 32?
5.
It is 5.
Nice, Travis.
You guys are killing me.
So log.
Okay, now something's changing.
You gotta
What's
multiply it.
very good? Look at that. You are going to do what, D'Angelo?
Multiply.
Why? It says add.
Because when you add, you multiply. Pretty easy for the rules.
Does anyone know what 27 times 8 is?
216.
216.
Log of 216 base 6.
Anyone know what that? 6 to what power is 216? 3. 3.
What's our homework?
We're doing it.
This
Is there a homework tonight?
This is what we're doing it right now.
Can you go back to that?
Yes.
Oh, there you go, homework.
Why is there a panda?
Hey, I got work later,
And
so
it
we
too.
should finish
Yeah. What? Turtle.
Are we good?
Miss Nadia, did you draw that panda?
14 divided by 2 is 7.
Did Ashley Simone draw that panda by any chance?
No,
Amanda.
Samantha
this.
Seal.
Alright, 47.
Oh.
Oh, I love Sam.
Okay, what do you do here?
Log of 14 divided by 2, base 7. 14 divided by 2, 7. Answer is
Equals
1.
1. This is easy.
This is work.
It's so
You
easy.
guys got this.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
How about this one?
Number 49.
Log.
Ooh, now we're,
Hey, you see the clip in that thing?
that's a plus sign.
128.
I'm gonna give you a hint.
48.
You move
That's
it
a
back.
two over.
Hey, I know it. 2
I
squared.
knew 2 squared, yeah.
I had it right.
Wait, what?
What does, someone tell him what the 2 does here?
The exponent is a
It's
2.
really the exponent,
So it's
2
4.
squared,
so it's really 2 squared.
I'm not. No, that's
I am on top.
Log
And what is 2 squared?
4.
I'm so
Four.
confused right now.
64 times 4.
Okay, Alex, the power property says if you have a power here, you bring it in front. So if it's in front, you bring it back.
56.
This is the exponent of this 2. This is a coefficient, you bring it back, it's the power. 2 squared is 4. And then D'Angelo said, hey, we're adding, but we really what?
Multiply.
Multiply. What's 64 times 4?
256. Answer is 4.
What is it?
If you do it,
4.
make sure you cover
Which one's the next one?
Okay, don't worry about the next 49, we're gonna move on to these ones.
You cross it off.
Yeah, go ahead, cross it off.
Yeet.
Now we're gonna go one step deeper.
Yeah, that number 49. Like,
What you have to do now is combine
All the things we
what you did on the first page with what we just reviewed, the properties. So, Amanda.
Yep.
Check this left side out. It says the log of x minus the log of 4.
base 10.
Base 10. Base 10. So, could you condense this side for me?
X over 4. Log X over 4 base 10.
I didn't.
Okay.
Now we're gonna rewrite this. How do you rewrite this?
I don't even know.
10, what's the power?
Oh,
10
3
to the third power.
to the third power equals X to the X over 4.
Yeah. And what is 10 to the third power?
1,000.
What's what do you do with that 1,000 now?
times by
Yep, cross multiply. So what's the answer? 4,000.
Okay.
So what are we doing? We're using the properties that we did up here. These properties, we're condensing the left side and then rewriting it like we did on the front page. Keep going.
Alright, log. Hold on. Base 10. Okay, so log
Base 10.
log of X over 4,
Mhm.
and then base 10, and then minus 2 equals
Oh my God,
minus
just
2.
the
Yep. Then
Oh
what?
my God.
And then you rewrite it, so 10 to the negative 2 power,
I didn't even pay for it.
which would be 1 over 100,
Uh-huh.
equals negative 2. And then you add 2 on each side, or no, X over 4.
times over small.
Now, you could cross multiply. You guys are good at cross multiplying. Now, the answer's not 25, it's 1 over 25.
I'm kind of confused.
You are?
Um,
You did it.
the cross multi, I got confused when you started cross multiplying. That's where I got confused.
Okay, if you don't like cross multiplying, what you could have done was multiply this side by 4 and this side by 4. If you don't like cross
Okay, so
multiplying.
what'd you
You'd
get?
get 4 over 100, which is 1 over 25.
Oh, okay.
Either way,
Is your name Yeet?
is Alex sleeping?
So if you divide 4 by 100, that's where you get 1 over?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, next one. Now, I need to do something with this too.
You bring it to
The
the
exponent to the
exponent.
Let's be on your.
It's not, we're taping right now. This is gonna be x what?
X squared
X squared
over
minus,
X squared.
With the base 10.
okay, so, what do I do with these two?
You divide it.
Divide it.
So X squared divided by 4. Base 10 equals 2.
They are getting more challenging. 10 to the second power equals x squared over 4.
Can you cancel the square?
No, no. You're gonna convert this to 100. Is everyone okay with 10 squared is 100?
Yeah.
And now, you could multiply both sides by what?
4.
4. So 400 is x squared.
And then you take the square root of it.
You got it. And
You
what's
eat that?
now, here's something we haven't talked about. There's two answers here, plus or minus 20. Negative 20 is gonna be an extraneous solution. I want you to right now, take your calculator, and I want you to type in 2 times the log of negative 20. Tell me what you get for an answer. Tell me what your calculator says.
2 times the log of what?
Negative 20.
Maybe I did it wrong.
2 times the log, it's base 10,
Okay, so it was
and then negative 20.
error.
Okay. Non-real calculation. You cannot, we haven't talked about this yet, so I'm introducing this to you. Negative 20 is an extraneous solution. This, you can never take the log, this number right here, it cannot be a 0 or any negative. Can't do it, it's gonna be extraneous. So we will cross out the answer negative 20.
Is that kind of like imaginary number, sort of? Or?
It's just not a real yeah, it's not a real number. It's not real. Okay, so that's our first taste of throwing answers out. So 47, how do you condense 47? Shrink it for me, left
Log
side.
of 3x over 5 base 10 equals 1.
Mhm.
And then 10 to the first power is just 10, so that equals 3x over 5.
Now what are we gonna multiply both sides by?
5,
What's 10 times 5?
50.
Does 3 go into 50?
Yeah. No?
Wish it did. Just leave it as 50 over 3. Number 48,
You move the 2 back, so it'll
move
be
the 2 back.
x squared. So it'll be log of x squared over 3.
Log of x squared over 3,
Base 10 equals
base
1.
10. Okay, then what?
Equals 1, and then you just take it's just 10 equals
Plus
x squared over 3, and then you multiply each side by 3, and then you get 30. 30 equals x squared, and then you take the square root of that.
Yep. Now, when you take the square root of 30, you're gonna get 2 answers, plus or minus, and you have a decimal. So, square root of 30, you're gonna get 2 answers, plus or minus 5.47, 5.48. The negative answer gets tossed out because you can't have a negative number here.
So do you just leave it as 5.48?
Yeah. Whoops. Sorry. Plus or minus square root of 30. Or it's approximately equal to 5.48.
Next one,
Next one. Talk to me.
log of 8 over 2x,
8 over 2x
base 10
equals,
equals negative 1. And
okay,
then it'll be 1 over the 10, 1 over 10.
okay, well, let's write 10 to the negative 1 first.
Yeah. And then it'll be equals 8, yeah, over 2x.
Now, you could, 2 goes into 8 how many times?
4.
You could reduce that if you wanted to, you don't have to, but, so this is D'Angelo said that that's equal to 1/10.
Did you cross multiply?
Yes, I would cross multiply. I would multiply these 2 together. 1 times 2x is 2x, and what's 8 times 10?
80.
And then what would you do? And what's your answer? 40. These are the most challenging ones.
You move the 2 back.
Move the 2 back, but I have a question for you. What does this become? If I move the
3x
2,
squared.
it's 3x, the whole thing is squared. A lot of people will put this 2 with just the x. It's the whole thing is squared. Okay, so keep going. What's 3x squared?
Hold on one second. Oh, yeah, 9x. 9x squared.
9x squared. Good. You guys are really building a lot of knowledge here. You don't realize it, but you are. Okay, next, what are you doing? Let's condense it.
Log of 9x squared over 9.
9x squared, good. 9x squared over 9.
Base 10.
Base 10
Equals 1.
equals 1.
And then you
10
can,
to
you can divide 9 by 9 and just get
Yep,
x.
good job. The 9's cancel. So then what?
Then you get
10 to the
or
first.
10 to the first power
Equals x squared.
equals x squared.
And then what?
Then just take the square root of x.
And what do you get?
Drunk.
Plus or minus root
I
10.
wish.
And the negative answer you're gonna throw out, because it's not gonna work. Just leave it as square root of 10, you don't have to write it as a decimal.
Really? We need this for.
Exactly.
I need Keith. Now I forgot who I need.
You're in the video.
We're recording this.
Yeah.
There you goes, Boxman.
Wait to the camera when you go by.
Smile.
Mr. Percy.
Okay, 51, we're almost done.
Move the 2 back.
Move the 2 back.
Because I don't have license plate or registration.
Then what?
X log x squared over 5 base 10 equals negative 2.
Mm-hmm.
10 to the negative 2 power, which is 1 over 100 equals x squared over 5.
Now
Cross
what could we-
multiply.
You could cross multiply, or what you could do is multiply both sides by 5. So you get 5 over 100.
Equals x squared.
What's 5 over 100? 1 over 20.
Equals x squared.
And then just square root both sides. And the last one, and we are done. You guys have no homework. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What do you do with that?
Multiply.
Times it. So this is the log of x plus 21 times x. This is my lead-in of tomorrow's assignment. What are you gonna do next? You could distribute, you could, but we could do that in a second. Rewrite it as 10 to the what power?
Squared.
Equals,
Equals x.
okay, then what?
Then you distribute.
Distribute,
X, or 100 equals x squared plus 29.
what kind of problem is this? Oh, Cassidy, you got your wish.
Quadrant.
We're gonna solve quadratics right now.
Minus 21.
She asked, can we solve quadratics? Yep.
Curve.
Now, what are you gonna do at this point? You're gonna factor it,
I hate factoring.
and you're gonna solve. Does anyone know what 2 numbers multiply to give you 100, but add to be 21?
Birthdays.
I don't know.
Done.
What is it?
Nothing.
What are the answers?
These.
Did you say these?
Now, what you could do is this.
What's that?
You could take your calculator and you would type in x squared plus 21x and then minus 100. And we're gonna graph this. Okay, one of my answers is this right here. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Minivan. We did, we're on Gratiot. Gratiot in 7 Mile.
There it is.
Drunk.
-4 times 25 is -100, but these two add to be 21.
This is too much work.
This is.
Is this like a
what-
This
simpler
one's
way?
Mr. E. What'd you say?
This is a challenging one. So now, there is one answer that's not working, and it's gonna be that -25, because you can't take the log of a negative number. So we're gonna call this answer extraneous.
Answer E.
All right, now, so, what did we learn today? Let's talk about for a second. Tell me what we learned. What did we learn? What did you learn today?
How to do math.
We learned how to solve what kind of equations? Log.
Let me show you this.
Thank you, Travis.